This is the continuation of Songs of the Cities, Doha, of the 8 Siddhas of North India. Not sure what the original language of this was, probably Sanskrit. Anyway, it's a really cool set of poetry, all of which points out. If you've been watching these, you may consider yourself to have had the pointing out, because what I'm doing is reading to you and talking to you about the pointing outs done by 8 of the Siddhas of North India. This is in the Kargyu lineage. Was probably translated to Tibetan by Marpa, but I'm not sure of that. Someone else may know better than I, since I ain't no scholar, as y'all might have noticed by now. There is a question box if something doesn't make sense or you have questions on topic. We are in Mahamudra. At this point, it's not that different from Maha'ati. So questions on topic will be accepted at certain points during today, when I get tired of reading. You know, Dzogchen and Chogchen, they are outside the usual rules of Dharma. And you may remember that Dylan said it true. To live outside the law, you must be honest. This is the self-honesty that is necessary to a practitioner of Dzogchen and Chogchen. Because otherwise, you're friggin' gonna fool yourself and think your own Namtalk is a terma. Nope, it's Namtalk. It may be Namtalk about the Dharma. It may be cool poetry. It may be a vision for you. That's not a terma. Thoughts. That's what we're going to be talking about. Chuku kundu zongpo gompoi. Dorji sempa garab dorji dang. Sheri singe bardu shin labde. Dedam abzan tata tusum chi. Dzogchen jupe lamala solo deb. Argin pema junela solo deb. Dorji chang chichilo narudang. Marpa mila gompo tsatsapa. Na pupadang palden drupa so. Kargulama namla solo deb. O chen lama namla solo deb. Nru chen lama namla solo deb. Kaginuari lama namla solo deb. Shakya lama namla solo deb. Nyandu da yundrun lama namla solo deb. Palkondu zhongdang yerme pa. Gungarab dorji jin tragpa. Jetidang nisume pai. Alamanam che tente chong. So as you, there we go, there's our page. So you guys know there's a lot of translations of this available. We are going to be working with one of them which the translators have, which is called the 8 Dohas, and which I found online. So far, it seems the closest to the original. I received this teaching in Tibetan from Wangdor Rinpoche over a very intensive week where he was really trying to finish it. And I've always studied it in Tibetan with scritchy notes. My scritchy notes, other people's scritchy notes, lots of scritchy notes. See, these are what scritchy notes look like. Put the pages back in order. We will go as far as we get today. We'll see. Remember me just saying a few things about thoughts. This starts here, 1.2, page 29 for you translators. Thoughts are delusion. Neither the object, the thought, nor the knower, the perceiver of the thought, have any intrinsic reality. The passing waves are not grasped, are not worshipped. Y'all worship your friggin' thoughts, don't you? You think they're real. You follow them, you obey them. How's that working for you? Since a good number of them are caused by post-traumatic stress from this life or another, really it's just wind whistling through your channels, making noise. And that noise is called a thought. Do not bother to reify them. Impermanence itself is unreal and therefore has no truth. For impermanence is a concept. It is limited. That which is impermanent cannot be permanent. Oops. Extremes. Go through the middle. Right there. Right in between permanence and impermanence. This is the point of Trultra Naljor, the yoga of dancing stillness, which should not be attempted until after you are very impeccably clear on what moves and what does not. Otherwise, you'll simply do yourself another mischief. Thoughts are the path of delusion. They are delusion. They are delusory. Gatherings of Buddhas, beings, goddesses, protectors. Simply the mandala of the wheel of samsara. All of it completely experienced as an experience. If the intellect adopts this as an object, the experience of the Lord without waves, that which does not move. This is completely experienced by the Sugatas of existence, the host of wrathful goddesses by those of the mandala circle, the stillness which is the dance of movement without any single thing moving. We're talking about Trultra Naljor here. The movement, which is potentiated by the very vitality of the stillness, which ain't just a big dead old nothing. You've heard lucidity, the ability to think, feel, perceive, and experience. All of this not separate, nor is it separate from the experiencer. As an analogy, consider the three kayas. Dharmakaya, infinite, vast, empty of characteristics, empty of thought, without even a center or an edge. Nothing you can say about it, but there's a yeah but here. It is not a big dead old nothing. Not black, not the nothing of outer space, not the emptiness of a vacuum. For it is alive, lucid, luminous. We call this the clear-light nature of the Dharmakaya, by which the seer sees, by which awareness is aware. And this vitality, lucidity, luminosity, clear light nature, which pervades all infinity and eternity, this very vitality itself is named so you can talk about it. Sambhogakaya. It's you. This awareness is your awareness. Does it move? Is it still? Dharmakaya, utter stillness. Nirmanakaya, which is the dance of phenomena arising and vanishing, no thing and nowhere, always moving. Sambhogakaya, the awareness itself, the lucidity of the clear light. Look for yourself, for it's your own true nature. Look into your own eyes. Does it move? Does it not? The Japanese answer that question with mu. And, not or. Now we are entering 1.3, translators. The cessation of the absolutism of conduct. In all of Keirim, there is an absolute of Gewa and Digpa, the dance of karma, the phenomena of karma, which is itself in the realm of phenomena, created by the desire and aversion arising to awareness, which is duality. Created by the duality, the separation of a seer and that which is seen, rather than the recognition that seeing creates the seer, who creates himself what is seen. There is absolute things you are taught in Keirim. They are method. They serve you. They are incredibly useful. When you are not directly perceiving your own true nature in this very moment, you are in Keirim, and as such need to obey those rules of Gewa and Digpa. Continue to make effort for the sake of others. However, when resting in direct awareness of the nature of your own mind, without separation or duality, without relying on thoughts, feelings, or perceptions to do this, without denying their existence or shoving them away either, then the following is true. To make effort in accomplishing this is an error. Adoption and rejection ends in exhaustion. The Dharmata is like space. Those who wish to be there, or those who wish to go there, are like pretas, searching for the end of space, constantly dissatisfied. Those who wish to attain the ultimate quiescence, peace of mind, total stillness, only nirvana, are like deer following after the water of a mirage. To be primordial Buddhahood, and yet to wish for Buddhahood and pursue it, is a remarkably foolish delusion. Yeah? Just checking both texts to make sure they agree. Wondrous, an illusory being enters the middle way. A mountain in the sky adorned by a dream forest. We're talking about the path of Dharma here. See it for what it is and transcend striving without shoving trying away. Look, guys, in between effort and limp lies a middle way. It is not done, and yet it occurs. It is joyous. It is relaxing. You cannot do it, for no doing is involved. Yar it. You gotta let go and let that occur. Y'all keep trying to force it. Make it happen. Or pretend it is happening. Nah. An illusion of an elephant follows a river in a mirage. The son of a barren woman rules the kingdom of the Gandharvas. I, Krishnapa, never change at any time. In the dance of phenomena, I have no unchangingness. I am free from the path's effort. I rest in a state of naturalness. I realize it to be the true nature, and I make no calculations of it. Calculation. That was a funny word to translate. Speculation might work just as well. Without speculation, without error, you see the certain truth. There is no attachment to the duality of empty and not empty. Yeah, let go of that too. You gotta let go of Dzogchen and Chagchen. All of it. All your expansive experiences, your oh wows, your realizations. I'm getting it now. Did I get it? Did I get it? Are we there yet, Ma? The car never left the driveway. We're right here. One of my favorite cartoons. A couple of monks, old one and a couple of young ones sitting on their cushions on the side of a mountain. Young one says to the old one, "Are we there yet?" Mountain ain't going no place. Just being a mountain. If without speculation, without error, you see the certain truth, there is no attachment to the duality of empty and not empty. By then, one arrives at the final limit of the cessation of phenomena, the cessation of intellect. The cessation of phenomena does not mean it goes away. It is not cessation here. It is release of concept. Leave it free, just like you do with an emotion. Remember working with thoughts? You see the nature of thoughts while thinking them again and again, continuously, until they cease to bother you. Remember working with emotions, where you strip the emotions stark naked without even a name, and you simply accept them as a feeling, just as they are, without trying to fix or improve anything, without minding the sensation. And so they are freed of the constraints of your suppression and justification to take their natural shape as the five wisdoms. It's not that they turn into, it's not that the five poisons are transformed by magic of Tantra into the five wisdoms, although that in Tantra is the way of perceiving it and describing it symbolically. They always were the five wisdoms. They were just wearing a girdle, twisted, not in their natural shape, constricted. When freed, they are what they always were. So, phenomena the same. It is constricted by your belief, disbelief, by your talking to yourself about it. Just as your emotion didn't go away when released into the nature of wisdom, It simply became what it always had been. So phenomena, when released into its natural state of the dance of stillness, it simply is what it always was, unconstrained by what you think it is. And so naturally arising and vanishing, thoughts, feelings, phenomena, also known as perceptions. No thing in nowhere. And this is not the cessation of the phenomena, but the freeing of phenomena with the sensation of squishing it by intellect. And that comes to the end of Krishnapa. Wait a minute, found a bit more. As I enter this emptiness, no one enters no thing. Emptiness itself is entered by emptiness. The unborn cannot argue. All this is thus illusion, changing, becoming, arriving, is empty without essence. Whatever mind it is that changes, realization is not dwelling in this. Release the disease of achievement. These very thoughts are themselves also confused. The thoughts I just said, thoughts they are, and therefore. And that's the end of Krishnapa. Are there questions?
There's a few. There we go. Let's take a look. One question is luminosity and emptiness the same thing?
Luminosity is the nature of emptiness. Luminosity does not mean glow. Anybody else in there?
For questions?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Earlier, you talked about mistaking Namtok as Terma. How then can one distinguish Terma from Namtok?
If you're thinking it, it's not a terma. This is because you are not a tertom. It might be a vision. It might be a teaching. But these are personal and individual. They are not intended to be brought out or dined out on. Stop with the you want to be famous. No, you don't. Other questions?
On the topic of thoughts, there is a big emphasis in Theravada tradition on sense restraint and abandoning sensuality. Isn't it just another clump of thoughts and belief system?
The Theravada system works, but it does not work by the same methods as this system. It basically is based on renunciation. So I have been told that will work if practiced properly and exclusively. But you got to go all the way. No Rolex on your wrist because you have lots of students. No wristwatch at all. Renunciate, renounce time. Renounce seeking your food. Give up working for results. Wander the forest with a begging bowl. Eat what is placed in it at noon. If nothing is placed in it, fast. Do not separate the things placed in it. Eat them all together the way they're going to be in your stomach. Sleep when you're tired. In the evening, under a tree. This method was not suitable for the climate in Tibet. It is suitable for warm climates. It works great in Hawaii, Thailand, Philippines, South India. Up in the Himalayas, not so much. Too cold. Can't do it. You will not survive the doing of it. And the idea of renunciation is not meant to kill you. It's meant to keep you from grabbing at stuff. So I strongly suggest that you go to a place conducive to that lineage, where it is at home if you wish to practice it. Parts of Brazil might work, as I recall the climate. Can it be done in a city? Perhaps some cities. Not in those that get so hot you die of heat. Not in those that get so cold you die of cold without shelter on a given day. So pick the place for it. It was designed to work in a certain climate. Next question.
Is the takeaway that one should let lived experience be lived experience without telling ourselves stories about it? Just rest and perceive experience directly.
Can you? Can you actually shut up and stop talking to yourself? That's pretty amazing if you can. Yes, if you can, but don't try to fake it. Next question.
What do you mean by knowing what is still and what moves being crucially important?
In Dzogchen, where this Rushen is not done until later on. In fact, it is not done until people have a certain rather time-consuming accident, where they attempt to stabilize the perception of tawa. Oops. It's a perception. Perceptions move. You cannot stabilize your attention on tawa. You cannot stabilize the perception of tawa. You cannot stabilize the feeling of tawa, and you cannot stabilize the thought of tawa because they move. And that which moves will continue to do so. Find what does not move. We do this later in one of the Rushens, after you've become thoroughly frustrated in trying to stabilize some aspect of the moving, and it doesn't work. Then we take you out and do some of the rushens with you, and you're willing to go gonzo in them because you're so damn frustrated. And then they work. So different method in Dzogchen, different time. In Chogchen, which this is, once Shine without an object, resting in stillness, Shi, peace, stillness, Nei, seat of, resting in, place of. Once you are able to rest in Shine without an object for some period of time, comfortably, then, having found the stillness, which is what Shine rests in when it has no object, one becomes clear on what is the stillness and what is not, what moves. And only after that is Trultra Naljor, which this was about, today's teaching on by Krishnapa. Next question.
Can you explain essence, nature, and compassion? Nowo Rangjin Thuje. I think
Say the last one.
Compassion. Oh, then
Nowo Rangjin
Thuje, I think.
Tukje.
Thuje. And Sal, Dang, and Ropa.
Okay, wait a minute. The first one's Nowo Rangjin and Tukje. So Nowo, nature, innate nature, natural state of, natural being of. Rangjin, self-nature. Tukji, tuk, heart. J, superlative, king of, great of, open-hearted, open-minded. Next set.
Okay. Is stillness...
Oh, here, Tsal, Dang, and Rolpa.
Yeah.
They refer to the same thing. Tsal is like light rays or shimmer or luminosity, shining. Tsal is shining. Dang is kind of inherent. And Rolpa is play. So the innate and natural self-nature of great-heartedness arises as the play shining forth naturally. Next question.
Do I have to feel the calm of shamatha first and then look for the movements?
In Mahamudra, yes, you do. In Dzogchen, no, you don't. So it will depend on which method you are following, the order in which things are done. Next question.
One moment. When meditating, how can one remember that it happened if there is no trace to this natural state?
Why would you want to remember it happened? That's just telling yourself a story with Nam talk. All memories, you're making them up. Nothing ever happened the way you think it did. Those are thoughts. Nothing ever will happen the way you think it will, and nothing is happening right now the way you think it is. Those are thoughts. You're making them up. And the shit of it is, they're making you up too. Next.
I get that we cannot stabilize tawa. Should we attempt frequent glances of tawa or just let tawa appear spontaneously?
If you are practicing Dzogchen, you should do gum, frequent glances of tawa. This will, do you remember what I just said just a moment ago about how you're making up the thoughts and they make up you? Well, the you is being made up by your thoughts and experiences. The you is an illusion that they are creating, fantasizing, making up. The more your experience of tawa is part of that, the more you are that. So by performing intentionally and with some effort, quick glances at tawa, sopa, can occur. You will not do sopa, soft S. It is not a doing, it is an isness. It's always been there, but you will create yourself as it by doing that practice. You create yourself as whatever you are anyway by all the shit you do. Half of you are a video game. The other half are made out of social media. It's okay, I'm made of science fiction. One has preferences, after all, as a human being. You can guide what you are made of by guiding your experiences, since your experiences and your thoughts within those experiences, and your experiences are made out of what you think you're experiencing anyway, and you're made out of that. There's nobody in there. It's all play pretend. Notice your own nature. Next question. If you've got some more good ones, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to go on.
Okay. A couple of questions brought up differences between Dzogchen and Mahamudra, and the question is, how do we know which method to use?
The one you like best. The easy one. Rinpoche tried to teach me Mahamudra. Oh, he tried. A couple of years he tried. I simply could not sit still like that. I couldn't even do shine with an object. I itched, I twitched, I thought, I this, I that. Not working. Okay. No point in bashing our heads against a brick wall. Let's try you on Dzogchen. Took a while, but eventually did work. You'll just have to try one or the other that you think might be best for you for a couple of years and see if it works or not. Don't just try it for a week, guys. Don't bounce around. Pick one. Flip a coin if you have to. Ask your mother. Next question.
Let's see. Going back to the question of renunciation practices, does that mean that it is not necessary to abandon sensuality for Dzogchen?
No, but it is necessary to moderate it. For example, if you drink too much as a Dzogchenpa, it may or may not interfere with your practice, but it will definitely interfere with your liver. And we have lost some wonderful yogis through liver oopses. Happens. Tibetans, like Native Americans, do have some of the genetic issues around livers and alcohol. They really should not have stuff stronger than beer and wine. Homebrew, that's fine. The amount of energy it takes and time it takes to make a batch, and then you drink the batch, and then, it's another couple of months to make the next batch, and you're fine. That natural way of working with alcohol works. But when you can just go down to the corner and buy a bottle of cheap English wine, that's Indian for whiskey, it can create problems. No, you don't need to abandon sensuousness. You do need to look after your body and to practice. Middle way. Watch your drugging, watch your drinking. Don't let it overtake your practice. Don't let it interfere with your practice. You like porn, okay, you like porn, but if you start doing porn 24/7, you're not going to get any practice done. So moderate your use of porn, if that happens to be the thing. Your use of social media, your video shoot-'em-up gaming. If you can't moderate it, give it up. Some people can moderate. Some people cannot moderate and need to be clean and sober. That's up to you. You need to be self-honest. To live outside the law, you need to be honest, self-honest. You need to see what you can effectively work with and what you effectively cannot work with. They'll be different for different people. Next question.
That's the end of the questions for this section.
Excellent. And now we get to start a new section. This is now we're starting with Maitripa. View, meditation, actually tawa, gompa, sopa, and result. I pay homage to Arya Manjushri, archetype of intelligence. The variety of individual phenomena are one's own mind. Damn. Technical problem. Every so often, my iPad does this thing. And it jumps. Here we go. The variety, the infinite multiplicity and variety of individual phenomena. All that you think is out there. Stuff. All that you think is in here, thoughts and feelings, are one's mind. Not arise in, are. All of samsara and nirvana are inseparable. Buddhas and sentient beings are inseparable. as in the example of water and its waves. This is why I'm always telling you that Bodhisattva and refuge come together in Guru Yoga, because the lineage is actually simply a conduit to all Buddhas of the four times, which arise out of and as all beings of the three realms. There is no separation here. Waves and water. The waves are not made of anything other than water. They never leave the water. They never go anywhere. They don't come from somewhere. They are water. The mind nature, which is without both things and no thing, eliminates on the instantaneous path of the realization of the yogin the suffering of samsara, which has a nature of darkness, error, darkness, mistake, misperception. You know, in a dark room when you're wandering around, how you trip over stuff, how you think there's things sneaking up behind you. Like a small candle that overcomes a vast darkness. Mahamudra, the great pointing, the great gesture. The union that transcends the intellect. Please do not attempt to understand this any more than you would try to understand pizza. Eat it. Its clarity and non-thought-like space, which pervades and is vast, which is itself ninji, great-heartedness, open-heartedness, which is appearance without reality, like the moon in water, clear and free from the ideas of edge and center, in and out, here and there, this and that. Unstained by anything, free from the impurities of hope and fear. Did it again. Come on, Tex, get your ass back there. Unstained by anything, free from the impurities, misperceptions, lies of hope and fear. Like a mute's dream, it is indescribable. The measureless great bliss, which has the nature of wisdom, is like moonlight and sunlight, not restricted in direction. Hey ho! The self-originated yoga is wondrous. The uncontrived natural mind is the Dharmakaya. The contrived mind, constricted by hope and fear, by beliefs and separation. The contrived mind cannot attain the yoga. Therefore, it is seen going in the There's something missing in the translation. Let me check the Tibetan. Next page. The yoga of mind. Okay. The contrived mind cannot attain yoga. No, the yoga of mind is not an attainment. Tsoe semgi nel jor tobme chung. Therefore, it is clear that the bliss cannot be constructed, that construction, creation, preferences in favor of does not go in the direction of the bliss. And yet the natural accomplished yoga, the naturally unaccomplished yoga, the self-nature established meditative tranquility, Naljor yoga, the naturally arising Naljor yoga, is itself an utter delight. Sorry, guys, I got disagreeing with a little bit of the translation in here. Didn't make sense. I think somebody left out a line or a few words. As it is free of thought, it is impossible to long for peace. Namtok, discursive thought, cannot arise without longing and desire. Therefore, with utter satisfaction of great bliss, there cannot be the arising of Namtok. These words are spoken by me, Siddhasraha. Okay, so this is a quote, that last bit from Saraha that Maitripa is putting in. Hey ho, this practice of the view of yoga, Naljor, my body, this mountain, is itself the supreme place. My mind, the practitioner of the yoga of time. Alternate translation, if a yogi would practice the view, his own body is the best hermitage. The yogi who rests in Semyi, unbound by time, Yeah, I don't make sense of my mind, the practitioner of the yoga of time. The mind resting in great bliss, unbound by time, binds the senses and creates the retreat boundary and becomes blissful. For all that, movement is unavoidable. But even distractions are not deliberately abandoned. When encountered, if known as mind, they are the yidam deity. The dance of symbols, which is what your yidam is. This is where seeing mind recognizes your own yidam's tawa, your own yidam as the nature of mind, the manifestation of the dance of phenomena. Knowledge is not sought. Knowledge is not delivered by degrees, sought, achieved. Let go of your understanding. If thoughts arise in mind, the yogin rests naturally, like cotton wool. Hang on. Oh, okay. If thoughts arise in the mind, leave them in their natural place. Leave doing to see. Leave off trying to fix something or do something, and see mind with mind. Abandon action. Let mind look at itself in the translation you're reading. In mind, leave off doing. See mind with mind. If desire arises, know it to be the dance of the Maras. Knowledge and desire, the demons of belief in what is known, to discover the nature of thought is root of the mind. The root of thoughts is the mind, and that itself does not exist. Thoughts are not real. They do not exist. If they did, you would be able to send me one, hand me one, or paint it purple, and you can't. If it were there, a thought, if it were real, you could use it as a table and put something on it. But you can't. With mindfulness or without mindfulness, mindfulness meaning being the tool of remembering, the meditating yogi examines the mind, and as it is found to not exist by him, it merges into himself. Without discursive thoughts, there is no illusory existence. Both thinking and not thinking is the meditation, O yogi. Questions here? This is too important for me to not stop and take questions. Where's my thingy?
What are you looking for?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You're supposed to be feeding me questions.
All right. Is there a practice that involves actual dancing that can help practice the embodiment of dancing stillness?
As a nundro, yes. Find the pivot point in every movement while dancing. There is a still point in the movement, a pivot point. See if you can find it. This is a nundro. A preparatory practice. It is not the practice. It's the same. There's one with drawing where you draw the sky around an image. So you have a vase of flowers, but instead of drawing the flowers, you draw the space around it. Norbu Rinpoche has taught a form of Vajra dancing using a mandala. I am not familiar with it, but that also may work well. Next question.
When one gets to a point where practice is only done for fun and not because one wants to get something out of it, is it necessary to stop practicing altogether?
No, that would be doing something, wouldn't it? Forcing something. Renouncing something that was fun. Why on earth would you want to do that? Next question.
Kind of a Puritan.
Puritan shit? Put
Yeah.
that down. That's not Tibetan, that's Christian.
During the path of focus, sadhana, good deeds, etc., as supporting context, is it okay to take glimpses of stillness, dharmakaya, informally throughout the day as in Dzogchen?
Absolutely. One does not separate those two paths. They turn into each other naturally. You don't intentionally abandon Keirim. At some point, it kind of wears off. Be suspicious. If you think it wore off and you're wrong, oops, that one hurts. And I fell for it fucking twice. Dork. Next question.
I cannot grasp or experience how perceptions or phenomena that seem to be external are mind. Could you please propose a practice leading to realization of this?
Well, the reason you can't grasp it is because you're thinking about it. The basic practice is to sit in Tawa as Tawa, basic Dzogchen, or Shine, which will lead Shine with an object, that's your pebble, which will lead to Shine without an object, where after which when you are skillful at that, you will begin working with separating, Rushen, Mahamudra Rushen, Koide Rushen, separating samsara from nirvana, after which you will do Trultra Naujor, and then it happens. So depending on whether you're practicing Maha'ati or Mahamudra, you would either do wherever you are on the Mahamudra path, or you would sit on the cushion in awareness of Tawa until that got really easy. And then you would also, not instead of the cushion, as well as the cushion, practice Gom, short glances. These would be the fastest of the method to do what you're trying to do. You will not do it through your intellect. It will not work. Intellect don't go there. It's like trying to get to Kathmandu by train. There's no train there. Train don't go there. You cannot get there by train. Next question.
Without discursive thoughts, does that mean one is not delusional?
No, one might be asleep. Next question.
Okay. If the text referenced something as a mindfulness tool, could you explain what is meant by this and how it's different from meditation?
Mindfulness meditation is not a Tibetan thing. It is a New Age thing which has been made up. When Tibetans speak of mindfulness, they refer to the tool of remembering. Be mindful that you have a dentist appointment tomorrow. It's used in that context. So in practicing GOM, you use the tool of mindfulness in order to remember to make quick glances. Now, what the New Age mindfulness meditation is, that's something that I think is probably quite good for lowering your blood pressure and other such practical things, and you're welcome to practice it, but it's not something I teach or have ever encountered in the Tibetan system as something one does. I think the be here now that Westerners may mean by it is considered a side effect or a result rather than a practice. It's not possible as a practice. Doesn't work, according to the Tibetan system and also my experience. You're always one bit behind it, scrabbling to keep up with the now. Next question.
Mind itself is a thought, isn't it?
Yes? Next question.
Are there pointing out instructions in Mahamudra? Can you give them now?
I did. What the heck do you think I've been doing since we started? Mind looking. Same damn thing. Come on. Oh yeah, like Lama Yeshe, where he used to open your mouth, place a bit of Dharma on your tongue, gently massage your jaw to help you chew, stroke your throat until you swallowed, and then say, "How wonderful of you to have eaten that. You are so amazing and marvelous that you ate that. Thank you so much." He was so much more patient than I am, guys. I'm a grump. You want the pointing out in Mahamudra. Okay. Enter into Shine without an object, using all the nice little tools that make it easy. There we go. Notice the movement of the chi in your channels, the flutter of the thoughts that ride it, feelings about this and that, including what you're doing at the moment, sensations of the body, perceptions of the world. Feel the flutter of all of that. Feel the stillness of Shine without an object. Shift between them quickly. Flutter. Still. What did you shift? Your attention. Keep your attention on Shine without an object. Let it settle. Rest until it stops fluttering. Blink. Oh, look, it's fluttering again. Your attention is never still. You can rest it in stillness as stillness for a time, but eventually, when you blink or breathe, it will move. Something will catch it up. Your attention moves, your perception of stillness moves. Find the stillness that doesn't move and practice resting as that in that until you can. Don't let your eyeballs dry out. Okay, the shimmer, that little fluff of moving. What's it made of? Look and see. Your attention, your feelings, your thoughts, all of this. Where does it happen? How does it happen? Does it affect the stillness? When you look at both at once, after some time, it will become obvious that they are the same thing. That looking at both at once is Translator. When it is completely obvious that they are no different from each other, exactly the same thing, stillness and movement. This is Latong, direct seeing. Once that is clear and easy, who, what sees the direct seeing? Look and see. The doer and the deed of one taste. The seer and that which is seen, creating each other out of no thing, in nowhere. Let it be as it is. Was that what you wanted? Because it's Mahamudra, it gets done in bits, because depending on where you are, one points out the next piece rather than all at once, like in Dzogchen. So there are slight differences. Next question.
How can I practice Mahamudra watching my pets transition into death for his benefit?
The same way you would practice it at any time, no difference. Next question.
There's no more on-topic questions.
Okay.
Maybe they're all enlightened?
It's hard to ask questions about Mahamudra. We will go on a little bit more. dear. You. As there is no desire for meditation, the result of Buddhahood is as there is no desire for meditation, Trekchö arises as the result. Practicing without the desire for result results in Buddhahood. The tranquility of a small child. Like a baby, no thought. Just being there. Like a bee experiencing the taste in a garden. Like a lion wandering from forest to forest. Like the various winds moving everywhere. Such is a yogi. If mind has the appropriate manner, that is the supreme conduct. And what is meant by the appropriate manner? Without separating samsara from nirvana. Without clinging to the duality of inside and outside, of doer and done to, of subject and object. Releasing one's clinging to that. Not suppressing it, not stamping on it. That's tantric symbolism, where you trod on demons. This is not that. You release it. You let go. You don't shove. Shove is trying. You don't grab. Grab is trying. You let go. That is the appropriate manner. With an unceasing nature, behave like a madman. Behaving naturally and free. Behaving in the natural freedom, unobstructedness of a madman. By just encountering this essence of mind, all various appearances, as it does not exist, it is the great gesture, the great symbol, Mahamudra. Maha, great, Sanskrit. Mudra is symbol, gesture, pointing. It is all the great symbol. The result, Buddhahood, arises whether there are appearances or no appearances. If one thinks of it, the sacred city, all that is outer and inner, the innateness becomes non-thought, a yoga like a river flow. Flows like a natural river. You cannot push a river. You cannot stop a river. Oh, the scientists try with building dams. They eventually fall down. They're temporary. They're moving. Appearances and non-appearances arise as Buddha. Outside, inside are arising together as the same. Thoughts flow by like a great river. Do not seek anything other than this. Do not do anything. Ilamichi chakchi chembo lam. Do not do any mental thing with this path. Yila. There is nothing to seek elsewhere than the mind. Really? Matotokna. Nangke trendang tra. Thoughts without thoughts. Thoughts without thinking. Like the sky's clouds are the same, unaffecting the sky. Non-activity, non-creativity of mind is the path of Mahamudra. Simply cease making it up. If the result is not realized, that itself is the Mahamudra. If realized, it is the nature of truth, of emptiness, and the innate inseparability of view meditation. Sopa. I really won't translate that as conduct. And result, if non-duality is recognized, that is the supreme result, Buddhahood. That's as far as I'm going on this today. Are there questions?
There are.
Yeah, give me a few.
Okay.
I need to make a note where we got to.
Okay. So one question is, what is the difference between shamatha without an object and relaxing in the nature of mind or treksha?
One starts with an S and one with an R. Different systems. Slightly different taste when I do them when I'm teaching them. When I'm simply relaxing in shine without an object, I am ignoring the thoughts. I am having my attention slightly pointed on stillness. Whereas when I am sitting in treksha, I am not ignoring the thoughts. I'm permitting them to be whatever they are. I'm seeing them while I'm sitting in treksha in tawa. It is not until Trutra Naljor is complete that they come together and are the same thing. Next question.
What results in, quote, not having a desire to meditate, end quote, in the context of this text?
I fail to understand your question exactly. If you simply don't have a desire to meditate or to practice at all any form of Dharma, then you have failed to recognize the four turning minds, which is the root of why we practice. You haven't noticed that you are actually a human being, fully endowed. You haven't noticed that everything moves and you're going to lose what you got and you're going to die. You haven't noticed the suffering of loss of what you have acquired, the suffering of chasing what you want, the suffering of fleeing what you don't want, the suffering of having what you don't want happen to you, and you have no idea how karma works. That would cause you to have no desire to practice Dharma. That's why, as motivation, the four turning minds are vitally important. They are an intellectual practice. We have a group on them. You're welcome to join. If you simply have no desire to meditate in the way this text teaches, well, that just means that Mahamudra doesn't suit you. You should be practicing something else like Tantra, Bodhisattva, Vipassana, Dzogchen, Madhyamika. Go pick one. This isn't suitable for everybody. It's only suitable for those who have a karmic connection to it. Next question.
In Mahamudra meditation, is it required to have the eyes open?
Yes, but not by much. In Mahamudra meditation, until you complete Trultra Naljor and reach the level of Lakdong, your eyes are downward and half closed. Now, at some point, they will rise in Lakdong. You don't rise them. They do that themselves once you're in Lakdong. You don't let them rise before then. Mahamudra has an order of operation. It is suitable to people who like orders of operation. Dzogchen does not have an order of operation. It is suitable to people who like jumping into the middle and flailing around until it makes sense. Your choice. Next question.
Is the view of emptiness the same as the Dharmakaya or true nature of mind? Are they synonymous?
Dharmakaya is not the true nature of mind. Well, it is, but you're actually looking at Dharmata, as true nature of mind, which is the union of Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. They are not separate things. So Dharmakaya, which is the view of emptiness, is not exactly mind, and yet it is. It is an aspect of mind, but not the totality. Dharmakaya, nature of mind, must combine, must not be simply empty. The pure emptiness, the view of emptiness, needs to be inclusive of the clear light nature of Dharmakaya, the vitality which pervades the emptiness, the aliveness, which itself manifests as the liveliness of creativity, the shimmer and sparkle of the clear light, the lucidity, and its shine. So the view of emptiness is just emptiness. And yes, it's Dharmakaya, but don't lean too far that way. Get back in the middle. Next question.
It's a follow-up question about the having no more desire to meditate. There's apparently a line in the text where it says that. And they're asking for you to clarify the meaning of that line.
Oh, okay. When you're enlightened, you have no more desire to meditate or to not meditate. When you are enlightened, there's no one there to have desire. For there is no perception of duality or separation between subject and object. Do you desire your nose? It's right there. What's to desire? Next question.
Okay.
A lot of people didn't tune in today because they're all over my email with other stuff. So maybe this one didn't get publicized much.
Okay. Is giving up enlightenment without abandoning the practice the culmination part of the Mahamudra / Dzogchen path?
Yes, but do you remember that to live outside the law, which is where this is, you must be honest? If you are giving up that means you see yourself as separate from that. That means, oops, too soon. You're lying to yourself. It's not time for that yet. As long as you're there, as long as there is you, separate from a practice, you better do the practice. As long as there is a witness in that which is witnessed, practice. It is not until the end of one taste that the practice of non-practice arises. Gamme. But what it means is no created meditation. It does not mean refraining from meditating. It means not making up a meditation. Oh, go talk to Martin on the exact spellings and stuff. It's spelled differently, Gom that you do and the Gom that you not do. The Gom that you do is simple. It's Gom, it's meditation. The Gom that you not do implies in the spelling, in the word root, creativity. Do not do a created meditation. This is in the Tibetan spelling. And thank you, Martin, for pointing that out to me in a text that we were working on. He's a damn good translator. I'm really impressed. It's our Spanish translator. Other questions?
What does resting in Rigpa mean to you?
A completely natural state of being awake, aware, in a state of what do the Christians call it? Grace? Which means Gewa is simply the state. Yeah, call it a state of grace. One is simply aware, without being specifically aware of. For there is no separation between aware-er and what it is aware of. So it's just aware. It's the natural state of all beings, when they're not busy resisting. Since all sentient beings do arise as all Buddhas in the fourth time, in the end, resistance is futile. One more question.
Okay. It's related. In a previous video, you mentioned that treksha is simply the state of being alive. Could you elaborate more on this in the context of this text?
It's what I just said about awareness.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can't repeat that. You'll have to get the tape. Okay, one more, because I couldn't really do that one.
Okay.
Only if it's like really on topic and needed.
They're all more general.
Then I think we're going to let it go for today. More words is not going to clarify this. This is what I see as the questions are beginning to like sit on it and twirl. No. Go do your practice. Don't try to understand this stuff. It's for feeling. Feel it. Let it inspire you to do your own practice. That's what it's for. Pure inspiration of poetry. Reassuring you that there's a cookie in there somewhere, or a pony in there somewhere. I want to thank our translators for everything they do, and ask you all to thank them personally yourselves. You know exactly what I mean by that. Ge wadi nyur duda che che sala go pashu. So, in the beginning of next week, I'm off for Europe, where I will be seeing some of you. Groups are canceled until further notice, as I'm going to be on the road and I won't have reliable internet and facilities to do them. If I sit in some place in Europe, I'll go back to doing them. But it's just too hard to do them while traveling. I don't have the focus to really work with you the way I usually do in a train station. So do your practice until I see you again. Look, I don't have it to give you. You have it. Your Buddhahood, I don't have your Buddhahood. You have your Buddhahood. Don't be looking at me to give it to you. Go do your practice. And we are complete with that.